Hello and welcome to our channel, MarshStream, your public performance broadcast platform. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. You can also donate to our tip jar and support the arts and artists of MarshStream by clicking the link below in the description. Check out our website, themarsh.org, for all upcoming live performances. Now, enjoy the show.
All right, so we have two performers tonight, two veteran performers. Performers, and we weren't always so good at this before. We're going to try to make it clear. Performers often are reading or performing excerpts of larger pieces, right? So this is an excerpt of a larger piece. This is called Empowerment, Part 1. Bob, did you have something to add?
Oh, I was just turning myself on.
Oh, I thought maybe you were like, Arnie, you forgot to say. Yeah. Anyway. Empowerment, Part 1, a tribute to August Wilson by Malcolm Grissom. The amazing playwright Malcolm Grissom. All right. Part 1 of a 5-show scenes tribute to August Wilson is loosely based on his play Joe Turner's Come and Gone. Here's another new thing that we're introducing in Monday Night Marsh. We're giving performers the chance to get feedback from the audience. So Malcolm says he would like audience feedback after his performance. He would like you to focus on what parts you resonated with and what you want to hear more of. And I'm just going to say quickly, he didn't ask me to say this, I'm sure you all will be. Remember, be honest, but this is critique, not criticism, right? Performers are sensitive people. It takes a lot to get up on stage and put yourself out. So be honest, be really honest, but be careful how you phrase things. At least I would say that for myself. So, and then we will have another performer after that, which I will introduce him separately, but his name is Jerry Metzker. But for now, please welcome Malcolm Grissom in Part 1, a tribute to August Wilson.
I got married to the woman next door. She's been married 7 times before, and everyone was Henry. Henry was no Williamson. I'm Mariko, man. Yes, I know. Come on, stop it. I'm not bothering you. I mean, come on. We're outside. It's a coffee shop. Did I ever tell you the story of my birth? This is so great. So, it was 1969. It was a gloomy Sunday afternoon in November, and everything was average in San Francisco. And in the Haight-Ashbury district, there was a side street named Downing Street, and right in the middle of that street, there's a car, a little Triumph sport car that was parked in the middle of the street. Now, ordinarily, no one would have thought twice about this. But on this day, there was an extremely young woman, extremely pregnant, who was wobbling towards this car and screaming the entire time. He's coming! He's coming! And her husband's right there. He's holding her and he's saying, don't worry, honey. Don't worry. We'll get to the hospital soon. Right? So they get to the car. She tries to squeeze in. Now, the entire neighborhood is watching. And even a couple of cops that were called, and they're looking at each other like, I don't know what to do. I mean, assisting childbirth wasn't in the training manual. And so she's trying to squeeze in, I'm screaming and yelling obscenities and everything. And she's finally, with the help of her husband and one of her friends, she gets in and she straddles her legs between the 2 front seats, right? And then curdling scream. And I was introduced to the world.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the story. That's the bird story. Now my publisher gave me this task of writing a 200-word bio, and I was thinking of adding that story to the bio. It was part of it, but I don't know what else should go in it. I mean, what goes into an effective bio? What is an effective bio anyway? I mean, is it just my name? Is it all my activities? What? You know, and how can I write an effective bio if I don't even know who I am? And furthermore, how can I be 51? Don't tell me. How can I be 51 years old and not know who I am? Right, amnesia, I'm sure. Wait a minute. Where are we? Who are you? Oh, wait, no, don't tell me. You're a jerk. No, seriously, but I don't know what an effective bio is. I can't tell you if it's going to be just a sum of all my activities and my accomplishments, or if it's going to be a manifesto. I have no idea. Well, yeah, true. Race is an important part in my identity. It wasn't always like that, though. You know, I grew up in Hawaii with my mom. Now, my mom is a black woman. At the time, she was a very militant black woman, say. She was in all the civil rights activities, you know, SNCC and everything, and she was in the Midwest, is where she was from, and very radical. SNCC? Oh, SNCC is the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. But she was very radical. She was like a combination of Angela Bassett, Lindsay Lohan, and Donald Trump. Okay, don't tell her I said that. Or do, I don't care. But she was very, not only was she militant and very angry, but she was also an alcoholic. I would call her a functioning alcoholic. Her water came in a Heineken bottle. And, whenever she was angry, she just flipped out. It's, you know, student non-violent, and I found it very ironic that she was in the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, because her answer to parenting was violence. Everything was violence. She was like a female version of Samuel L. Jackson. Only not as pretty. So she was now this was Hawaii back in the 70s, right? So finding a black person in Hawaii was like finding a unicorn in Golden Gate Park. It's not. She basically, what I'm saying is she was my only role model, so to speak, of what a black person is. So I didn't want to be black. You know, black race wasn't a thing. It was only a thing to her. To nobody else, everybody else, we were all Ohana. I mean, Hawaii is like 90% Asian. It was 1% black, or I'm sorry, 1% white, and maybe 0.1% black, you know. And so she was all I had to look up to. And obviously, she was not the type of person that I wanted to be. So I wouldn't tell anyone I was part black. If anybody asked me, I was other. It wasn't until I moved over here to San Francisco and started college when I started studying Black history, and I started learning about the Civil Rights era and the Harlem Renaissance and beautiful music of Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald and Stevie Wonder, you know, and Motown and Ray Charles, and then, you know, it was the writings of James Baldwin and the plays of August Wilson that really defined to me what it meant to be a black man. So, oh yeah, of course I do. My favorite Wilson play is Joe Turner Come Gone. You should read that. It's good. No, I won't spoil it for you. Just you should read it. But I reread that play again, and it inspired me to write this new bio. So I want to read this to you and tell me what you think. Okay. If you describe to Malcolm Grissom with one word, that word would be humorous. He was all about play and laughter. If you described Malcolm Grissom with two words, the first word would be humorous and the second would be passionate. Actually, the first would be passionate and the second would be inspirational and the third would be supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Malcolm Grissom is passionate about entertaining, inspiring, motivating, and empowering people with the power of story. As an experienced and award-winning solo performing actor, comedian, storyteller, Grissom uses laughter to create community. Through his public speaking and performance coaching, he shares his passion for helping individuals, especially those overlooked or discounted, to find their personal stories and use them to achieve success. Grissom applies his vast experience with working with California's Employment Development Department and his knowledge of workforce development to assist people with career development. He is also studying for his master's degree in marriage and family therapy because strong communication and personal narratives begin with the family unit. So, describe Malcolm Grissom with the words passionate, resilient, playful, loving, helpful, intelligent, inspiring, empowering, joyful, and of course, humorous. How did Joe Turner's Come and Gone help me, inspire me with that? Well, that is an interesting story. And I don't really have time for that today. But why don't we do this? Let's reschedule a time to meet, and I'll tell you all about it.
All right. Our next performer is Jerry Metzker in Your Guardian Angel is Worn Out. Chorus, the guardian angel is worn out. He's been way busier of late than he anticipated, and he's a little bit ticked off. Why? How? And how reckless human beings have become. All this has not just exhausted him, but it's also made him want to quit. Can angels quit their jobs? You'll find out. Jerry Metzger in Your Guardian Angel is Worn Out.
I'm here. I apologize for my delay. Oh, I had a heck of a day, let me tell you. I wasn't sure I'd make it here in time. Anyway, my name is Horace. I'm a guardian angel, and I'm exhausted. Oh, hold on. There may have been a whole lot to take in all at once. Yes, I'm a guardian angel. You know, like that character in the Jimmy Stewart movie, It's a Wonderful Life. You all know the movie, right? In it, Jimmy plays this regular good guy, right? He lives in the same town he grew up in. He owns a savings and loan, which is kind of like a bank, only not like these big international business conglomerates you have today. Anyway, this nasty guy moves into his neighborhood, into his town, and opens another bank and tries to drive Jimmy out of business. There's some money lost, there's some confusion, and so on, and Jimmy's just devastated. There is a run on his bank, like in the Great Depression, where they, are trying to get money out of the savings and loan, but it's a savings and loan, so there's not a whole lot of money there. It's all out funding other people's loans, and Jimmy's about to lose everything. I mean, this bank means everything to him, and he decides that maybe it's time to end it all. It's Christmas Eve, which, by the way, is a very busy time for Guardian Angel, I must say, and the filmmakers were right in that regard. And Jimmy goes to this bridge over the freezing cold river, and he's thinking about jumping in. But before he can, this other guy jumps in. And Jimmy, being the all-around good guy that he is, jumps in to save this other guy, an old guy. And this older guy tells Jimmy, I jumped in to save you because you were going to jump. I'm your guardian angel. Right, it's all coming back to you now. You all know the movie, right? It's the one where Jimmy says, oh, I wish I'd never been born. And then his guardian angel takes him through his life as if he hadn't been born. Right? And it's all just so confusing for everyone because they're walking through this life and they're trying to fix it for Jimmy, but the point is that other people actually fix his life for him while he's out reliving his life on his own, right? They're the ones who create this kind of 1940s version of a GoFundMe campaign to save him. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that there's this guardian angel, right? And the big problem with the movie is that the guardian angel says is only helping Jimmy so that he can earn his wings. Well, that's all hogwash. Angels don't earn their wings. Man, some of us don't even have wings. I knew you were wondering about that, right? Right? Aren't all angels supposed to have wings? Like Michael in that movie starring John Travolta, or Dolly Parton in Touched by an Angel, or Unlikely Angel, that was it. Touched by an Angel, that TV show, they didn't have wings, neither Roma Downey nor Della Reese. So what's the big deal about wings? It all comes from what other people are thinking about what angels should be. I'm a guardian angel, I don't have wings. In fact, if you think about it, really, that Dolly Parton is is amazing, right? She is an angel. Well, a human angel. I mean, can any of you think of anyone who does more good on this earth than she does? Amazing. But, you know, she has wings in the movie. Not me. You know, in the Bible, there are the Torah, the Quran, there are several kinds of angels, right? So there are those that are never really described. And we think of them as being kind of human-like. Then there are the cherubim, right? No, not those naked fat babies in old European paintings. Those are cherubs. Cherubim are lions with two sets of wings. And when two of them are together, they form a kind of impromptu throne for the Almighty. Then there are the seraphim. Whew. Oh boy. These are six-winged, fire-breathing dragons with legs. And they are frightening. But they sure can sing. And as for me, I'm one of those human-like angels. Except, you know, I really don't look like this. You think I want to look like this? If I had the choice? No, this is a form I take so that you all can look at me. Because the real me is kind of amazing looking, I have to say. And if you actually saw it, you'd probably go blind, which wouldn't be very, very not good for you, right? Yeah, so, no, this is just the angel form that I take for you all. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, something else too, right? I'm just here to help people. My name is Horace, and I'm a guardian angel. Yeah, and I know you're thinking, Horace? His name is Horace? What kind of a name for an angel is Horace? Like, shouldn't it be something handsome and romantic, like Gabriel or Michael or Raphael or Azazel? Well, maybe not Azazel, but something with an L at the end. By the way, you know where that L comes from? Yeah, it's an old name for God. Yeah, pre-Bible. Wait a minute. Hold on here. You, right there, you? You can't sit there. You need to move. Move your seat. I mean it. Just move. Move one seat down, front, back, forward. Don't get too close to your neighbor. Just move to another seat. Okay, there. That's better. No, I'm not your guardian angel. Your guardian angel is in South America, but I'm here, so there you go. Thank you for having me do more work. I really appreciate it. And that's what it's like, exhausting all the time. You people are a lot of work. You need help all the time. And I don't know, we just all can't keep up, you know? What I just did for that person, that was very simple. But really, there are all kinds of other things that I have to do all the time. You know, I'm not kidding when I tell you that you people have no idea of the kind of messes that you almost get in, or actually do get in and need to be helped out of. Let me see if I can explain what I mean. So, there is this playwright, right? His name is Jose Rivera. I'm hoping some of you know him. You go to the theater after all. And he wrote this play called Metzger. Now, the central character, Metzger, has had a really rough, awful, hard day. And by the time she gets home, she's about ready to drop. Then suddenly, her guardian angel appears. Now, Metzger is kind of annoyed with her guardian angel. Are you real or what? Because if you are real, and God is real, and the Gospels are real, then someone tell me why I live the way I do. Because this is not how it should be. I mean, I have looked for angels throughout my entire childhood in every nook and cranny and never found any of you. Come on, somebody up there tell me why it is the way I live, the way we live, the way we live were fighting, I helped you pretend that you were in the deep, deep ocean, far away and safe. When you were 10 and those racists chased you out of school, I turned the little monsters into columns of salt. At last count, one plane crash, one dilapidated elevator, one massacre at the hands of a right-wing fanatic with an Uzi, and 66,301 sexual assaults never happened because of me. What? That's supposed to make me less paranoid? As you know, things are bad, and I have to leave you. I don't want to. I just can't protect you anymore. What? You're leaving me? I don't want to. I love you. I just thought you needed to know. What's going to happen to me? I don't know. I'm going to be meat! I'm going to be food! The nerve. Oh, what about me? Every time I see that play, I want to walk right up on the stage and slap Marisol right upside the head. Oh, but that's not allowed. Not allowed. I'm not allowed to go around slapping people. Although, it seems to me that some people sure deserve it. Yeah. Ask your mothers. Being a guardian angel is no picnic in the park. Yeah, let me explain. I'm presuming you all have eaten in restaurants at some point or another. In restaurants, right? And you're sitting down at your table and then your server comes over. After a little bit of chit chat, the server goes off, maybe with your drink order, maybe to let you consider the day's specials, and you pay attention. You watch your server. And your server has maybe several tables, let's say 8. All of them needing, I don't know, more ketchup, a refill, dessert, doggy bag, has spilled something, or, oh, one of the kids has puked. It needs their check or change for the tip, because a $10 tip on a $95 meal is just too much. Besides, somebody didn't like the food. And you watch your server run in and out of the kitchen, here and there, from table to table, with this and with that. And when she finally, and let's just say your server is female, since more than 60% of all restaurant servers are, when she finally gets to your table again, she looks like she's about to collapse. Now, imagine that happens all day and all night long. Day after day after day after day after day after day after day, and that's what it's like to be a guardian angel. Man, I'm responsible for 25 of you people. Oh yeah, and don't keep thinking, well, Horace, that doesn't sound like very many, 25. I mean, a first grade teacher could have up to 30 students, first graders. What time is it? Yeah, really, what time is it? No, someone. Okay, one of you has not turned off your cell phone. Take it out and tell me what time it is. I can't see it from here. You have to tell me. 7:45? 7:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right? All right. Since 6 a.m. this morning, Pacific Standard Time, this is what I've been up to. Prevented one person from tripping down the stairs, stopped 3 people from scalding themselves on 2 hot coffees, and another from touching a hot burner, stopped 20 car accidents. You people drive like maniacs. In fact, 6 of them were the same driver. Oh yes, and 5 of the times he was at fault. I intervened, so one person did not eat some really bad sushi. I pulled out 2 plugs so someone didn't get electrocuted. I created a disturbance so 2 people did not get robbed at gunpoint. I stopped someone from drinking too fast and choking. Rerouted 3 people. 1 to avoid getting bit by a squirrel. 1 to avoid falling into a hole where the sidewalk used to be. And 1 from walking into a street fight. I stopped 1 person from cutting herself on a kitchen knife. And yes, there is a proper way to peel a potato. I pulled the cigarette out of the hand of someone itching for a heart attack. I prevented a gas leak before anyone was poisoned. I reminded 3 people to take their medicine. And I prevented 2 people from going on a dangerous date. And on my way here, I distracted 2 white thugs from attacking a senior Asian couple. Oh, and then there's our friend here sitting in the wrong seat. Honestly, it's hard enough to protect the young and the stupid. You know what I mean? The daredevils, the skateboarders, the bicyclists, the jumpers down the stairs, the fire feelers, the snake lickers, and the glue eaters and the like. I get that. They're young. They're learning. They're inexperienced. They don't have any knowledge, right? This is how they're learning. They're young. But now we have the older and the stupider. Frankly, I'm fed up like Marisol's guardian angel. You know, and that's because your beautiful world has gone to shit. Oh, I know what you're thinking. I am allowed to say that. Yeah, I can say shit if I want. God said, yeah. God said about 40 years ago, there was this person called Ronald Reagan, elected president of the United States. God relaxed all the rules. So there, shit. Shit. Hey, that feels pretty good, I think. You know what? Let's all do it. Yeah. Come on, I want everyone to say shit with me. Oh, unless you're under 18. Then I want you to put your hands over your ears and sing la 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 to yourselves while the grown-ups get something off our chest, all right? So on the count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3, shit! Oh, come on, that was pathetic. Really? You know, you've got to put your heart into it. You've got to feel it, because if you don't, well, you know what? We're going to keep doing it until you do, and I have eternity. Ha ha ha. All right? So, I just want you to belt it out. Ready? Again, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, shit! There you go. Feels better, doesn't it? Yeah. Now, I know what you're thinking. Forrest, quit distracting us. What do you mean when you say that our beautiful world has gone to shit? Really? Think about that question. Do you really need to ask it? Look outside yourselves. I mean, there are the constant wars, the suicides, the rapes, the fights, the attacks, the massacres, the everything. The just down and dirty cruelty, and the guns. What the heck is wrong with you people? Notice how I didn't say, what the hell is wrong with you people? Not that I can't, if I want to. It's allowed. Hell. Yeah, see? Nothing happened. Anyway, here's the deal. I just don't want to be a guardian angel anymore. It's a hard gig, I already shared that. And running around after you humans, preventing you from killing each other or yourselves, or worse. I keep thinking, hoping that the world will get better, but it doesn't. It's just one plague after another. Well, and today you have people who don't even believe in plagues, and they're living in the middle of one. I'm tired. All right. Show of hands, okay? All right? Hold your hands up if this applies to you. How many of you are still in the same job you were 5 years ago? Raise your hands. Can't really see. Okay, but 7 years ago, keep your hands up if this applies to you. Okay, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 5,000 years ago. 5,000 years ago, I was in this land that you call today Ireland, right? And the people were amazing. The wheel hadn't even been invented yet. And they imagined to bring these giant, and I mean giant, like 5-ton boulders. They moved them from one part of their land to another. And they carved these fantastic drawings on them. Then they arranged them and stacked them in these amazing tubes. Yeah, sure. I had to do my guardian angel job back then to protect people at all those construction sites. Yeah, and keep them from starving to death and from getting gored by a wild boar or dying of dysentery or freezing to death in winter or being killed by a warring clan. Oh, great! It was just as bad back then. See what I mean? How long and hard and arduous this is. Those ancient pre-Irish people, nobody knows whatever happened to them. I guess they just kind of died off. I don't know. After that assignment, I went to Egypt, right? Which was a horror, where they were building the pyramids and all those other structures, the cruelty, the violence, the nastiness. I just couldn't keep up. I can't keep up. Today, I actually lost someone. Yeah. A beautiful soul. Friendly, kind, considerate, gentle, careful. Went to her friend's house. They thought their kids were playing with toy guns, but they were real guns. Woohoo! Bang, Mommy! That was it. I was on my way, but I didn't make it in time, and my person died before she hit the floor. I don't know what to do. This is not supposed to happen. This is, I understand that people die, and this child's life was ruined, but this isn't supposed to happen on my watch. I'm supposed to prevent that. And I didn't. So, it's time that we'll talk with the Almighty, who probably already knows, God knows everything. But I'm going to tell him, I'm going to say it, I don't want to be a guardian angel anymore. Give me another job. Give me no job. I don't care. I'm not going to be a guardian angel anymore. I quit. So I guess feedback, and I guess I have to write my own feedback, but that's okay because I'm a dramaturg by training, so I know how to do that too. And I have just a couple of questions if you're interested and want to participate. The first question is where were you most interested and where were you least interested? So there are those two parts. And then the other is, was there any place where you weren't sure of what was going on, aside from when I kept dropping one all over the place? And I did bring a pen out. And I can take notes. Now I can't see you, so you're gonna have to just shut up what you think. Please. So let's start at the beginning, right? So where were you most engaged?
Telling us all the stupid things that we did.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I also think calling for not just the stupid things we do, but also the state of our world, which was
great, thank you.
Yeah, that was very informative. I didn't know about all the different types of angels.
And I confess, they're the only kinds that I know of, so, but the seraphim are my favorite angels, because I wrote a whole play about them. Yeah. So, and then where would you say that you were like, oh, this isn't really interesting to me?
There seem to have been parts of the story that transitioned into others.
I'm coming closer to my
There seem to be parts of the story that transitioned into others.
Uh-huh.
And I was in the former one, and mentally I was, I have to readjust.
Okay.
And for me, it's sort of helpful when I have a blank space to digest that one and then start anew.
Great, thank you. Uh-huh. Some of that was the performance, just to let you know.
Okay.
So,
I felt like the portion on It's a Wonderful Life
okay.
lost my focus. And I think it's because we watch that every Thanksgiving.
Yes.
It's excited, it was coming and going. And so it was so familiar that it almost feels like redundant to emphasize it to that level.
Okay, thank
And I
you.
don't know how other people will see it.
So telling that story, of course, is because I wanted to talk about how the faulty version of a guardian
Yeah,
angel it is.
yeah.
And I never know how much I need to describe of the movie for the audience,
Yeah.
right? So it's always going to be that kind of
Yeah.
challenge for me. I think a lot of people know that movie. In fact, probably many of you know better than I do, because I just sort of winged it as I was talking.
I may be the only person
That's
who has
okay,
ever
it's a
seen
play,
it.
yeah. So any place else where you were sort of,
It sort of got really serious there when you talked about the woman getting shot, the person on your car. It was like it was sort of light and fluffy, and then all of a sudden, boom, very serious. Which I don't know that was good or bad. I mean, it was just like such a change, sort of. It was like, wow.
okay.
To me, that felt like it was kind of a straw that broke the camel's back. Like that was just not enough. That's how it felt as I was listening. So there was all of these accumulated stress and actions and non-stop effort. And in the end, there was this event that was horrendous and why.
So let me ask you, I just have one little question, I'm going to kind of change mine. So what do you think, why do you think Horace is telling this story? Why do you think Horace is telling this story?
Like, I'm putting
I feel like most of the time I understand what his resistance is about. And he's telling it to somebody else and kind of internalizing it at the same time. That's how I feel.
Okay, other thoughts?
I think he's making you aware.
Yeah.
Well, just aware that there's one there, you know, what it involves and stuff. I personally liked it when you would reflect on that you've done this before, and that it wasn't just all this stuff that's going on now about people, but that you were in Egypt and Ireland, and that you actually have been around all this time, and it made it more guardian angel for me, and then it made you realize that these guardian angels have been here for you forever, and they're telling the story that, you know, we're here for you, and it's you need to be appreciated. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay. So I will tell you, this isn't the end of the play, so.
We didn't think so. I wanted to hear more about why you didn't want to be a guardian angel besides being impacted with how tough it is. Because I feel like there's more to it than that.
Great. Thank you all very much. I appreciate
Well,
it. I
thank
want to
you
thank
for
you
your
all. Oh, but you're not done. Hey, Malcolm, come on out. We have a few questions for you and Jerry.
One more thing I wanted to say though is I felt like at the end of it, you were very strong when you sat down and said, I quit.
Yeah.
I was like, that was very strong. I thought that was very powerful.
Great, thank you.
All right. Well, first of all, okay, how about another round of applause for both of you? All right, so let's see. Question one. For each of you to answer, let's start with you, Malcolm. What inspired you to write your piece?
You can say it was the money.
I love August Wilson, and I was really surprised. I was at some sort of conference, and I mentioned his name to a bunch of non-theater people, and even with his movies being out in the last couple of years, the Fences a couple of years ago, and this year Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and they both won awards. A lot of people didn't know who he was, and I was very hurt by that because he did some great things. I loved his cycle, his Pittsburgh cycle of plays. Everybody knows that, yeah? No? So basically what August Wilson did was he took the Black experience and he wrote one play for each decade and 10 years. And because he's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh cycle. So that inspired me to do this, yeah. And the money.
Yeah, that was good.
The check's in the mail.
I confess, and I'll be very honest, and Alexa will probably never call me back to Marsh again, but I got the notice saying, do you want to do a show at the Marsh? And I thought, oh my God, what can I do? And so, like I usually do when I create things, I sort of just started riding my bike and thinking, and I went through 2 or 3 ideas, and something popped, and I thought, oh, Guardian Angel must have quit. There's some conflict in that.
Yeah.
And that's how it came. So basically, I was invited to think up something, and this is what I sort of settled on. And actually, once I started writing, most of the time before I start writing, I already know that this is what I want to write. I don't usually start things and throw them away, but I do spend a lot of time thinking, what about this? What about that? What about the connection? What about this? Where can that go? And this kind of piece, unlike other pieces, I write short stories, which I don't do a whole lot of, but in the novel you have to know what's going to happen. In a play you have to know what's going to happen at the end, or else you can get way off track and write a whole bunch of, you still anyway write a whole bunch of garbage you have to throw. But in something that's short and concise, you just sort of get on as a Flannery O'Connor trick. You just get on and you just write until it's over. And it tells you where it's going. And that's how this piece came about.
Very interesting. Thank you. It's always cool to hear the artistic process. Okay. Speaking of money or more audience members, how can the audience find out more about what you're working on? Social media, perhaps?
Yeah, I'm going to go first.
Or not social media?
So I was getting ready. I put together almost all the materials for a website, and I put it on hold so I could do this piece. So, but I do have like all the parts of the website to sort of what's going on. I always have lots of irons in the fire, and I do share a lot on my Facebook page because I'm of an age where I do mostly Facebook. I don't do Instagram because it's just too much. But you can find out there, and then I would say that in the next month and a half or so, I'll have a website.
MalcolmGrissom.com is my website. Jerry actually put together. So this is my first. And
Unless it's fabulous, and then I did it.
you can look me up there, or just Google me. Google my name, it'll pop up, or YouTube, whatever, Malcolm Grissom. I'm on a lot of the major, biggest sites, not on YouTube or not YouTube, TikTok. I don't have a TikTok, I'm not doing that.
Now, I have done in the last 3 years or so, 5 or so shows at the Marsh, so you can always find out what's happening at the Marsh, and it can be me. So that's another way to find out what I'm up to, because this is my second show, and I did one of the online shows during COVID, and like this, and then before that I directed History of World War II, which played at the Marsh for 9 months, both here and in Berlin. So lots of things at the Marsh.
It sounds like Googling each of your names will lead us to a lot of
Some
information.
things, yes.
It would also do a lot more,
Yes.
especially if you're lonely. I love to Google.
Something tells me you're not alone in that. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around a little bit and say, although you both had a chance you all had a chance to critique the performers, do you have any questions for them, in particular, audience members?
How was
Don't
it?
all at once.
Oh, how was it when the audience gave you feedback? I mean, we've never done that before. Personally, I liked it because I felt it engaged, or maybe gave someone a better understanding by what somebody else interpreted. But how did that feel to have audiences give you their candid thoughts?
So I've done a lot of this as part of my career, feedback, and I always think that feedback is lovely if it's a situation where feedback is part of the thing, which they've done very well here at the Marsh this time. Right, as you knew, I was like only 2/3 off book, and I was more off book than I thought. I got nervous, so I had to. But it's this is a development thing, and when you're developing theater is not a solo enterprise. It's people, it's the audience, it's everybody together. So it's very, very helpful. And I have very specific questions that I like to ask, which I'm sure you got right away, because I've studied this and worked on this for 3 decades and found that those questions, you mostly can get everything from your audience that you would want. And they're very specific questions. If someone tells you that this is the most interesting part of your play, that they think, then you look at the play and go, okay, so what about this really sparked interest? And am I doing it, whatever that spark is, throughout the whole play? So I don't need you to say other things. That's where I can get my energy from. So I think it's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for having this opportunity. I love hearing back.
If any of you know me or have seen me, besides Arnie and everybody here at the Marsh, I am a very energetic and I guess open performer, and I don't perform with a fourth wall very often. And so getting feedback from the audience, other than just verbal feedback, or after the shows, attaboy, that was really good, that kind of thing. That was very nice, kind of took it up a notch, raised it a notch. And especially because this series that I'm writing is really important to me. I really want to know what people resonate with, what direction I should go into, because I guess I have a slightly different writing style than you. And So it's really important to me to actually hear that from people. So I really enjoyed this as well.
And just so that you know, I saw both your terms come and gone and the piano lesson within a year. Cool. That's how old I am.
Any other audience questions?
I just can't wait to hear the next part of yours. Oh, what, he's not gonna tell us what?
I have a question. So you took feedback tonight. In 2 weeks, will your performances capture that and process it? Will it show up in the performances or?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm just wondering if I would come back in 2 weeks, will I see kind of the next stage?
You'll see different show. My shows are I mean the writing's the same, but they're always differences, and like I said, especially because this is so raw. You know, I love the feedback, and so yes, I'm definitely going to incorporate it. And so yes, if you were to say come back, then you would see a lot of the feedback that was given tonight, if you remembered it, has been incorporated.
So, from my point, I'm not sure you would notice a whole lot of differences in the script, except for I will have, the lines better because I have 2 weeks to work on them. But what you might notice is, from the feedback, is how the script is carried out. So some of the things that you gave me, which I really appreciate, I think I can adjust in the performance, and that's what you would notice. You probably would say, oh, he didn't repeat himself as much this time because I could remember like the little tweaks in terms, because there's a lot of repetitious styling and writing, because it keeps coming back right to the same thing. So you might not notice that as much next time because the flow will be smoother or cleaner, and the characterization, the storytelling will be more modified.
Well, we need
What?
to see if the Almighty lets you quit, that's
Yeah.
right.
And I'm wondering what you saved me from.
Yeah, I keep waiting for something to fall from the ceiling.
I was like, look it up, I'm like, oh.
Horace has lots of secrets, so.
Well, I want to thank you all for coming. I am but a small cog in the Marsh machine, and been dormant pretty much since March 2020. And I was a little nervous to come back in a way, just like because I knew sort of the job and how to do it, but like a lot of people, it's like, and I'm still working from home on my other job. But I just want to say, this night here with this small audience and these two wonderful performers, it really embodies to me kind of what the Marsh is about, right?
Yep.
Breeding ground for new performance. You all were really interested in sort of these developing works. The performers were interested in hearing what you thought of it, and everybody came in with their mask on. No one was upset about that. So I think it was a really good opening night.
Awesome.
And I just want to finally...
I'm watching you online, Jerry, and then we did the
It was awesome, it was a really good.
Well, let's give a hand to Alexa. She's behind all this. So thank you all for coming. You know that these gentlemen will be back in 2 weeks, and maybe you'll be back or send some other folks in your stead. Thank you so much.